The crop behind me, cowpea, is a versatile crop. It has hundreds of developed varieties. Some varieties grow in moist conditions, while others thrive in arid regions. Its new leaves, green beans, and dried pulse, or dried bean, are all edible. It can also be used for fodder production and intercrops well with most cereal grains to help retain soil moisture during the growing season. So these green manure cover crops are not just for soil health and for weed control, but can be used for a diversity of attributes. There are also many species of cover crops around the world. They each have their own physical traits that may be applicable in different contexts or helpful to overcome various obstacles that farmers face. Our hope is that you would explore the potential of one or more of these crops on your farm in order to better understand how they grow in your system or how they may help you achieve your goals. To help you determine what might be good crops to start with for your context, ECHO developed a green manure cover crop selection tool. I am now going to demonstrate how to use this tool to help you determine what GMCCs might be helpful to trial in your context, given your challenges and your needs. I'm going to pretend I am a farmer near Ranchi, India. One of the cool features about the selection tool is that as you change these indicators on the left, the recommendation list here on the right are going to change in live time. So let's get started. To find out how much rainfall and what temperatures crops experience during the season I want to grow the crop, I can go to all sorts of websites. I will often use information from World Weather Online or climate data resources. I can see that year-round, average temperatures stay between 15 and 32 degrees Celsius. So I can put that in by simply clicking and holding these blue circles and dragging them in. Alternatively, I can also type these values into these boxes. Okay, so that did not narrow down our focus on which cover crops to try quite yet. Next, I can see that from June to September is the rainy season, in which we get between 1,000 and 1,500 millimeters of rain. October to May is the drier season, in which we get between 0 and 100 millimeters of rain. That dry season is too dry to get any plants to start, so let's go with putting in a cover crop at the tail end of the rainy season after the grain production is done. This could be the last 2 months, which would be between 0 and 700 millimeters of rainfall. I can put that in again by simply clicking and holding these circles and dragging them in. Alternatively, I can type the values into these boxes. Now we can see that we have lost 4 crop options that won't grow well in that type of climate. They may require more water. Next, if I want to, I can put in the altitude. I don't think it will make much a difference since it is not a high altitude, but let's go ahead and do it. Ranchi is 694 meters above sea level. So I can go ahead and enable this function of the tool by clicking this box and then toggle the circle again, or just type the value into this box. Okay, now if I scroll down a little and look at the intended uses, I have some options. If I want an edible product myself for market or for home consumption, I can click this use and see how my recommendations drop. I have 8 crops left. Or if I have animals I would like to feed with the crop, I can click this option and see how my recommendations change. 11 left. Or if I really just want to invest in soil health, I can click the soil cover/improvement option, and the list will reorganize based on the potential nitrogen accumulation of the crop instead of biomass production. This parameter has a lot to do with whether or not a crop forms relationships with nitrogen-fixing bacteria in the soil. Lastly, I can choose a specific growth habit if I want. If the cover crop is going to be intercropped with a grain crop, such as maize, perhaps I want it to be erect, which limits the recommendations to 6 crops. Or perhaps I'm okay with it going a little into the maize or other grain crop rows. I can click semi-erect and gain 4 more crop options. Now under my options, the top recommendation will be the highest potential nitrogen accumulation, since I still have the soil improvement option selected. If I take that off, it will resort this list by biomass production. If I click on each crop, information about that specific crop will pop down, giving me more details including its growth cycle, early growth phase, potential anti-nutrients, and tolerances. Try looking for crops that fit in certain cropping windows for your region. The more specific you go with your options, the more narrow your recommendations will be. If you find yourself stuck with no options, try to figure out why that might be. Are you growing in a season that is not suitable? Did you type in a number wrong? As always, if you think of a way to enhance this tool or have helpful feedback for others, please let us know.